Get on My Level is a historical tournament for Canadian Melee that has been running since 2014, and it always seems like there's at least one player that performs exceptionally well on home turf. If you would have asked fans which Canadian player would place the highest before GOML's 2018 iteration, you'd hear household names like Curvy Kaze, who got 5th in 2017, or Nunn, who got 7th in 2016. But the Canadian player who topped all of them was Moky, who just barely made the top 100 in 2017. So who is Moky, and how did he end up placing 8 places higher than the next Canadian at GOML 2018? Well, let's start off with that first question. Like many professional Melee players, Moky has been playing Melee since he was a kid and was always a huge fan of the game. And like many others, he came to learn about the competitive Melee scene through the Smash documentary, which he saw for the first time a couple weeks before GOML 2014. So he started grinding away on his first main, Captain Falcon, to prep as much as he could in the short time span before GOML. Unfortunately, this brief bit of time before the event didn't quite bring him up to snuff with the other town in attendance, and he ended up going 0-2. But this didn't stop Moky at all. He continued on maining Captain Falcon after GOML for a little over a year until around September of 2015 when he switched over to Fox, who he has stuck with ever since. And with Fox, he has slowly climbed his way up the Ontario Power Rankings, making his first appearance on the 2016 Winter PR at 10th, jumping to 6th by the summer, moving up once more to 5th by the summer of 2017, and finally landing 2nd behind Ryan Ford on the latest iteration. So now that you have a better idea of who the talented man behind the Blue Fox is, we can now take a look at his tournament results leading up to and including GOML 2018 to understand how he did so well. Let's start at the beginning of Moky's year at Emerald City 6. Here Moky started off the year by taking a ton of great wins in the round-robin play-in pool, where he only lost to Fat Goku and beat IBDW along with a ton of fringe top 100 players. However, he didn't fare as well in the actual bracket, losing to Bladewise and being knocked out in the rematch against Spud, but still overall a good start to his year. And Moky followed up his good start with an amazing 33rd placing at Genesis, where he pulled off one of the biggest upsets of the event by beating Chudet. Also at Genesis, he took a respectable loss to Hugs and just barely missed out on adding a 4th top 100 win to his resume against Tai. 2 months after that, Moky had arguably his worst performance of the year at EGLX. This is the only event so far this year that Moky wasn't able to add a top 100 win to his resume at, and he also took one of his worst losses by rank to fellow Canadian Nightmare at this event. But Moky easily bounced back at Frozen Phoenix the next weekend, placing 2nd and taking 2 Game 5 sets off the player right below him on the Ontario PR, and losing 2 sets to the player right above him on the PR. A month later in late April, Moky then added another 5th placing at a regional to his resume at Aegis. Here Moky put on yet another showing much better than his 96th rank would have you expect from him, with Ryan Ford stopping his winner's run for the 2nd event in a row. But Moky finally was able to turn this trend around a week later at a much smaller event in Toronto called Revenge of the Six, where he not only double eliminated Ryan, but only dropped a single game against him. And then a week later, he did it again. Cosmic Shine marked the 2nd Toronto event that Moky had won over Ryan Ford, this time double eliminating True Ilium as well on his way to the 1st place. And this leads us right up to Moky's 9th placing at GOML. His impressive win over Ice here is now significantly less surprising, as he spent the weeks leading up to GOML beating another immensely talented Fox player in the Ditto. It's important to note that Wizroad dropping out of GOML definitely helped make Moky's run easier, but getting 9th at such a large and historic event like GOML, while also taking a game off 2 top-tier Marth players, is a feat that anyone should be proud of. With that understanding of what led up to Moky going from placing 193rd at GOML 2014 to 9th at GOML 2018 just 4 years later, we've made it to the end of highlighting Moky and his 2018 so far. With the wins he's already amassed and the ones he'll add to his resume in the next 6 months, I expect to see him somewhere between the 60 and 80 rank on the 2018 Melee at Omni rankings. If you want to keep up to date with what events Moky is going to be attending moving forward, follow him over on Twitter at @MokyDoki, link down in the description. And I think that's about it for this video. Leave suggestions for a player you'd want to see on the next Rising Player Spotlight down in the comments below, and I've been SaveAsUntitled, and I will see you guys next time.